Hello and welcome back to the Zone Focus channel. My name is Chris. Thank you all for stopping by. Today I have a little bit of info to give to you all to try to make this quarantine situation a little bit smoother for you. So recently I took some self-portraits. I used the Mamiya RZ67 and a couple other things, and I put it together and I was able to make a few portraits of myself. This was a very fun activity to do and it took up some time, so it was rewarding in the fact that I got some photos out of it, and it also kind of took some time out of the day. So hopefully I can give you what you need so that by the end of this video you can take your own self-portraits and make something that's all your own. So first, let's get into the materials you'll need. You'll need a camera, whether that be a 35mm SLR, a rangefinder, or like myself, I use the medium format camera, the Mamiya RZ67. You can go as big as you want to on format, but you'll need a camera. Second, you're going to need a light meter. Now, some cameras have light meters, some don't, but my Mamiya RZ67 doesn't, so I needed one. You can also use your phone for this. Of course, you'll have to use a tripod. So that's your third thing that you'll need, is a tripod. I can't show you mine because I'm using it to film this video. Now, the next couple of things you might or might not need to make these photos. One is tape measure, some type of measuring tape. You'll need that. And another one would be regular tape, just something you can use to stick the measuring tape to the camera. You will also need, of course, some film. I used Ilford HP5 for this process, and I pushed it to 1600. And last but not least, you'll need some type of system to fire the camera. So whether that be a shutter release cable, which if you have one that's long enough, you can take one from across the room. But I didn't have one that was long enough, so I decided to use a self-timer. Once you've gathered all of your materials together, now is the time to actually put the things together so you can take your portrait. First thing you need to do is set up your camera. After you put your camera on the tripod, you want to position your camera facing towards the direction that you're going to be sitting in when you pose for your picture. Now that you've got everything set up, you have your camera on your tripod, now you want to get into position. Once you sit into position, what you want to do to focus is find something that's about the same height as your eye and use that to focus on. Now, in my certain situation, I didn't have anything tall enough to use for a point of focus that took my place. So what I had to use was that tape and the tape measure. What I did was I took the tape measure and I taped it to the back of my Mamiya RZ67. Where I put the 0 was in between the film back and the body of the camera, which is where the film plane is. When you're focusing, that is the place that you're actually focusing to. It is not on the front of the lens, it's actually on the plane of the film. After that, I took the tape measure and I pulled it and set down to where I was going to be positioned in the photo and measured to my eye. After you found the distance that you'll need from the measuring tape, this is a good time to also meter the light for yourself. From there, I took that distance and I went to the side of the Mamiya RZ67 and I plugged in that distance into the focusing wheel. Now on the side of the Mamiya RZ67, there are different red and blue lines. Each red and blue line represents a lens millimeter length or lens focal length. Now for me, I was using the 110 lens. So I looked at the third red line, which is the 110 lens, and I used that line to match with the distance that's on the side of the camera. Once those distances are, once the line and the distance is matched, then the camera is focused to that distance. Now, after you've got everything focused and together, make sure you've practiced your pose, you know what you're gonna do, and you need to set your self-timer. After your self-timer is set, put it into the camera and run into position and sit down in position and wait for your camera to fire. After all of that, these are the photos that I ended up making on the day that I made my self-portraits. hope you all enjoyed those photos. Thank you for watching as always, and stay zone focused. Peace.